What's going on, traders? I'm not even going to waste you guys' time. We're going to get straight into the pain. Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below. Let's get into the video. Now, looking at NQ, everything was looking great. Everything was looking great. It was looking beautiful. Blow off top scenario. Everybody was screaming to the moon. Market can't be stopped. Blah, blah, blah. We break out of this bull flag pattern here on the daily chart. And then we get this. We get an inverted hammer pattern. If you don't know what an inverted hammer pattern is, I encourage you to Google it, but this is a very bearish pattern and is extremely bearish when we have a strong uptrend. As you guys can see here, bearish hammer pattern, look what happens. I would say this is a much more cleaner pattern, but look what happens. Bearish hammer pattern. Hopefully you guys can see this. We get another one here. Looks what happens. I mean, I can keep going, but I hope you guys get the idea, right? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. And you're probably like, oh, that's it? That's all you have to support your thesis? No, it gets worse. Looking at the triple Qs. Oh, it gets worse. It gets much worse. So if we're looking at the triple Qs, we have a potential double top here. Of course, it's not confirmed until we get a neckline break, but a double top is a double top. And right now we have another bearish pattern. We have a dark cloud cover. Again, I encourage you to Google it. And if we're looking at the same scenario here, then it could happen here, right? But this isn't strong enough for me. The triple Qs. I'll admit that this isn't strong enough for me. But again, if we're correlating this with the Nasdaq, because it's basically the Nasdaq, it's not looking good. Now this is where it gets worse. The ES, essentially the SPY. Looking at the ES, what do we have? We have an inverted hammer pattern. But this is not what I want to show you guys. I wanted to show you guys the weekly. If we zoom out on the weekly, let's just zoom on out. I, do I do I need to explain this? Do I really need to explain this? I mean, as you guys can see, I don't make it up. I don't put my trend lines in Narnia. They all connect. Connected to the wick here, connected to the wick here, connected here. And we're at strong resistance at around 5108. Today we want to close on the ES above 5108 or at least 5105 for me to feel at least a little bit bullish heading into Monday. We didn't get that. We closed at 5101.5. Now, I'm sure someone out there, maybe a YouTuber, somebody out there is like, oh, but we got a bullish engulfing pattern here. I want you to think about something. Wouldn't this be, if this is a bullish engulfing pattern, which it is, by the way, wouldn't that be the perfect opportunity to trap bulls? Think about it. If you were to see this, and let's say you don't do supply and demand zones, you don't know how to do it, you don't know how to do resistance or anything like that, and all you know is engulfing patterns, wouldn't this be the perfect opportunity to trap bulls? Or if you were institution, if you were a hedge fund, wouldn't you think this is the perfect opportunity to trap bulls? A bullish engulfing pattern on a weekly? Think about it. I mean, really think about it. So, again, it's looking really trappish. Today looks like it was a bull trap. SPY. I know you're tired of me now. You're just like, oh my gosh, he has more. SPY daily chart. What do we see? We're at the top of this rising wedge pattern. I mean, do I need to say more? If we look at the SPY weekly, and again, it's looking like the ES, right? We have this bullish engulfing pattern. Perfect opportunity to trap bulls, I would say. Dow Jones. Oh my gosh, he has more. I told you when I said it can get worse, it can get worse. Dow Jones daily chart. Same thing we saw on NQ. Inverted hammer pattern rejecting the top of this trend. The top of the rising wedge pattern is being rejected. And then we have this gap down here at 386 on the Dow Jones. Apple. Apple has a descending triangle. Sorry. Descending triangle. Extremely bearish pattern. And then we have this super engulfing pattern right here that's just completely destroying this candle here. Bearish pattern. We have a flat bottom. We have lower highs, descending triangle. So I'm hoping you guys got the point by now. Today seemed like a bull trap. So if you're bullish heading into next week, if you got calls heading into the next week, chances are you got trapped. Now I will say there is a glimmer of hope heading into Monday that may give you an opportunity to close your positions. Just a small glimmer. The VIX. So I said in the Discord that one thing that I think could happen before we see a real market correction is that the VIX fills this gap. Your hope, if you're bullish heading into Monday, is that this gap isn't filled right away and maybe we get more upside, a little bit more upside before the gap is filled at around 13 on the VIX, 13.3. If the VIX opens up at 13 on Monday, you might want to get out of there. Okay? Because at that point, I do believe that that will be the point where we start to head higher on the VIX. And if you don't know, the market moves inverse of the VIX most of the time. SPY, today I did have a price target on the SPY for 412. So to support the VIX theory on the 13 gap fill, we could see a move like this heading into Monday. We just open up green and then we head to 512 because that was my original price target. And given the VIX isn't filled at 13 or doesn't fill the gap at 13 yet, open on Monday, we head to 512 on SPY, we trap more bulls, and then boom. Probably not that dramatic, but you get the point, right? That's your only saving grace, at least in my opinion. That might be the only saving grace here. So I just want to reiterate that today looks like bulls got trapped. I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I never traded a blow off top scenario. We could just keep going higher and higher and higher. Who knows? And just ignore all of this. But I have to admit, it just doesn't look good. And this is why I've been warning all week to play cautious. I've been warning all week. If we look at unusual whales, this may be your other saving grace. We don't really have any puts coming in on unusual whales. We have like nothing but calls. We got Tesla calls. We got SPY calls. We got some puts, but as you guys can see, there's mostly calls coming in. We got Apple calls, all for next week, some for Monday. So, we got some calls on Monday. So again, this could be your saving grace. Monday we may open green, maybe head to 512 real quick, and then plummet. Or we just keep going. We keep going. I don't know. But judging from what I'm seeing on the charts, again, traders, it doesn't look good. So that's really all I want to go over. I'll put out another video Sunday going over the key levels that you want to look out for. But this is just more so of a warning video. I'm going to keep putting these out. We're in extreme greed on the fear and greed index. Is just not looking good. So that's all I got. I'm sure you didn't like the video, but like, subscribe, comment your thoughts below if you agree or disagree. Discord link is in the description below. And until the next video, traders, have a good weekend.